Well, hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to this webinar. I first want to say a huge thank you for making the decision to join me today. I promise you're not going to regret it. You're going to learn how to escape a business model that is always capped by hourly rates and time. And I'm going to share my personal story around this. And you're also going to discover the powerful but three-step strategy that I use to flood my business with high-paying clients on autopilot every single day. And this system is going to give you more freedom, more choice, more joy for what you do. And it's going to help you to remove that income ceiling so that you can grow and you can scale your business. Now, as you come on into the chat, just say a quick hi so I know that you're here. And also make sure you turn off any distractions. Grab yourself a notepad and a pen because what I'm going to be sharing is going to be extremely valuable. And I'm sure you're going to want to make some notes, okay? All right, I can see a lot of highs coming into the chat. And one more thing, I'm on camera right now, but I'm going to switch across to my slides in a moment. And I will definitely come back on camera at the end of the webinar. I might even pop in and out a couple of times throughout the webinar, but I want you to be fully focused on the content that I'm sharing. All right, so without further ado, let's go. Okay, what you are going to learn on this webinar is a consistent and predictable way to land high-paying clients every single day. How to only work with clients that you actually like to work with. How to be in control of your business and only really work when you want to work. How to build a business that offers stability, consistency, predictability, lifestyle, and amazing client results. Now, I have to say, you're going to learn strategies that you might never have heard of before to take your business from where it is now to really flying. And once you learn what I'm going to teach today, well, you can't unlearn it. And you're going to have a decision to make at the end to either stay where you are with systems that aren't really working for you or to embrace this new way of landing clients that I'm going to be teaching you today. And this is the easiest, most profitable, reliable, consistent way that I have found in my 25 years of coaching to get quality leads that you enjoy working with and who really value and respect your services. I mean, last year, my company brought in over $500,000 in sales with the strategy that I'll teach you today. We've been able to do this, and you will be able to do this as well. And you don't need any big following on social media. You don't need to work crazy hours with client after client lined up for one-to-one coaching with you. You don't need any complicated sales funnels. You don't need to rely on referrals and word of mouth. You don't need expensive equipment, and you don't need to rank on the first page of Google search. And you don't need any previous experience. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Lisa Hugo, and I've been in the coaching space as a voice, performance, communication skills coach for over 25 years. I started implementing the methods that I'm sharing today about 5 years ago. And once I learned this approach, well, it completely transformed my business, my income, and my life. And I'm really excited that you're here today because the chances are, if you implement what I'm going to teach you, you will experience the same. But before this, I can say business was really hard, and maybe you can relate to this. For years, I was coaching only in one-to-one. I was working sometimes 6 days a week, 15 hours a day, and I was busy. I was really proud of how busy I was. I had a lot of clients, and you might be thinking, oh, lucky you, I'm still struggling to get enough clients. But here's the thing, and maybe you can also relate to this. I was charging by the hour. Every hour was what I believed I could charge for that hour. I had limiting beliefs about what people would pay for my services, and my income was always capped. And I was burnt out, but I was still not making enough money despite working crazy hours. And at the time, I was the sole breadwinner for the family. We had a mortgage, school fees, and my income wasn't covering our expenses. I would take on almost every client that came my way because it was income, and also, I have to say, because I was terrible at saying no to people. But I was missing out on some of the most important moments and years of my girls' lives because I was busy working. And I knew there was a better way, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I'd seen so many other coaches out there with online programs and group sessions. In fact, I'd already created an online course. I just didn't have any idea how to market it to the right people who would need it and who would value it. I also had no idea of how to price it. And then, well, COVID hit. And suddenly my one-to-one in-person business was out of business. And I had to learn a better way really fast. So I invested a lot of money. I'd actually been lucky because I attended an event a few weeks earlier, and at this event, I got to know some mentors who could help me to grow my business online. So I did. I got resourceful. I maxed out credit cards and I invested into their programs. And it was quite a lot of money at the time. But within 4 weeks, I launched my online course that, as I'd already mentioned, I'd already created back in 2019. And I sold this through a live webinar. I ran paid ads to get people into that webinar. I had 30 people attend, and I made 4 sales at $497. Now, I didn't have any fancy studio. You can see here back in COVID, this is what we did. I stacked my laptop on top of books, on top of my piano in my living room. And in that 1 hour, I made almost $2,000 in sales. For me, that was exciting. I knew that I was onto something. Well, I then went on to repeat that several times over. And then eventually, I didn't really want to be live on webinars anymore. So I automated the entire model to run 24/7. And within 2 months, I brought in over $33,000. And then I went on to consistently reach $10,000 months. And that was just in the learning phase when I was still getting my feet wet. Now we generate consistent 5 to 10K days with my coaching programs. Now, if you think about it, back in 2004, I was literally charging about $30 per hour for my coaching. And now in 2025, we have programs that we sell for 2K, 5K, and even up to $20,000. And this has opened up new opportunities to meet incredible, successful, and inspiring fellow entrepreneurs. It's important that you surround yourself with people who will inspire you and who will motivate you. You become the top 5 people that you hang out with. Find people who you are inspired by and who you aspire to be like and get them into your network. If you spend time with less driven people, well, unfortunately, that is what you will become. And this has given me back more time to focus on the things that I'm passionate about, hosting my podcast and sharing my knowledge from stage and even writing my very first book. But most importantly, it allows me to spend more quality time with my family, something that I already said I sacrificed when they were younger. We can now take trips to visit amazing places. We can travel in comfort. We go to the gym together. I'm not telling you this as a way of bragging, but I want to inspire you that it is possible to achieve this if you are prepared to step outside your comfort zone and what I call DSD, do something different. Now, I want to be fully transparent. My results are not typical. They're the results of years of learning, investing, testing, and taking action. I don't know you. I don't know your work ethic. We're just getting to know each other now. But I can say, if you're willing to show up and do the work, you can create your own version of this success. But it hasn't just worked for me. This method has been proven in almost any industry imaginable and all over the world. And this is Fez. He's a good friend of mine. He's in a mastermind with me. And he went from coaching in a gym, struggling to make ends meet, to bringing his business online and niching down to work with women over 40 through online coaching. He generated £13,000 in his first month, $114,000 in his first 6 months, and he's now brought in over $1 million in the last 3 years. And this is Phil. He's a DJ. He learned to reprice his programs that he was originally selling for $97 and used the strategy that I'm sharing today. And he generated over $1 million in his first 2 years. Inspiring, right? And the last one, this is Chris Hill, and he's into marketing services for his clients. Well, Chris says, we built our offer, our marketing, and our funnel, and we managed to scale the business to $250,000 in just 8 months. Now, if you're on this training right now, the chances are you're feeling burnt out. You have incredible value to share that others can learn from. You want to be known as the go-to person and authority in your industry. You might be stuck in one-on-one coaching like I was. Maybe you've got too many clients and not enough time, or maybe you're just starting out and you don't have enough clients. You're not earning the income you desire. You've maybe dabbled in some different marketing strategies to bring in clients, but you're still not where you want to be. Well, today we're going to change that. By the end of this webinar, I want you to have absolute clarity and excitement about a new way forward. What I'm about to teach you works if you coach or consult in one-to-one, if you have online training programs, if you would like to bring your business online, if you have group coaching programs, if you offer any done-for-you services, and it works in any industry imaginable. Now, I do have to say, this is not for you if you're just looking for a way to make quick money online, if you're not passionate about your topic or your industry, if you sell low-priced items like books or e-commerce or Shopify, if your offer is less than $200, if you have a physical business, or if you're not interested to grow your business online. All right? Okay, are we excited? Let's dive straight in. Here's what I'm going to be covering on this webinar. 5 common mistakes that are sabotaging your coaching or your consulting business. How to unlock an unstoppable stream of perfectly targeted leads to your business. How a single mini webinar can effortlessly attract and convert your dream clients. I'm going to share strategies to safeguard your time and make sure that every prospect that you speak with is qualified and they're ready to buy. All right, are we ready to dive in? Type in number 1 in the chat if you're ready to go with me. Okay, let's dive straight in. 5 common mistakes that are sabotaging your coaching or your consulting business. Well, number 1 is worrying about the competition. You might be worried that the market is so saturated that it will be impossible to stand out. You might be worried your competition is going to take your prospects or grow faster than you. Maybe your competition makes you doubt your own abilities and then your confidence suffers. Maybe you're watching others build their businesses and you're thinking, oh, they've got something better. They're doing it better. They look better. They sound better. They're more strategic. It's so easy to compare yourself to other people building businesses, especially if they're in the same industry. But comparison takes away from the pleasure, and it's so easy to envy. Remember, it might look like they have it all together, but in reality, they most likely don't. You need to focus on what you want, not what others have. Focus on building your business, doing things your way, and building a business that's built on your values, your expertise, your uniqueness, and your personality. You know, competition is only a problem when you're trying to be the same as everyone else in a crowded market. But if we can get you to stand out and be unique, well, it's no longer a problem. And I'm going to show you how to do that on this webinar. Number 2, undercharging for your services. Imagine I offer you a Ferrari for the price of a Toyota Yaris. What is the first thing that would cross your mind? Most people would immediately wonder, what's wrong with it? And that's exactly what happens when you undercharge or you offer steep discounts for your services. Low prices don't inspire confidence. They create doubt. The investment level that someone has to pay directly impacts the perceived value and, this is really important, the effort that people will put in. So the key is to focus on the real value that your product or your service delivers. What is it worth to your client to achieve the result that they're looking for? Now, many of you on this webinar offer services that can truly transform someone's life. Now, if that's you, I want you to let me know. Type a number 100% in the chat. Remember, you're making a big promise to your clients. But if you attach that promise to a bargain-based price, your prospects will question its credibility. They'll be wondering, what's the catch? Can it really be that good? Whereas on the other hand, when you confidently raise your prices, your potential clients are more likely to think, wow, this must be something special. And not only that, but if you want to earn more money without working so many hours, you have to change your price point. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you have a goal of hitting $10,000 months and you're selling a product or service for $20. That means you need to sell 500 of those in order to hit $10,000. Now, if you increase that price to $500, well, then it seems much easier because you only have to sell 20 of these to hit $10,000. Much easier, and you can add more value and work with less people. Let's take it up one more step. Let's say you're selling your program for $2,000. Well, now you only need to sell 5 of those to hit $10,000. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, I don't think that anyone will pay that amount for my services, but I guarantee it. You just need to rethink your own value and work with someone to help you package up an offer that will encompass your worth. The right people who need and want the transformation that you can offer will pay you for the result. Okay, number 3, hiring a marketing agency or a done-for-you service. If you do this, you are never going to know if what they are doing is done well. You're putting your full trust in them. That means you're not in control. You won't understand the process. You'll have no idea if they've done a good job. If they stop, then your business stops. The results are almost always disappointing, and I know this firsthand because I have tried working with agencies, and it will be costly and it's going to burn through cash. I firmly believe it's really important that you learn this stuff, at least in the beginning, so you understand it, and then maybe later you can outsource it if you want to. Number 4, not using AI to support your business. I mean, seriously, if you are not implementing AI into your business, you will be left behind. And I'm not just talking about using ChatGPT. There are so many incredible AI solutions to free up your time, become more productive, and even more creative. And I teach many of these tools in my coaching programs to help my clients to accelerate, to launch, to grow, and to scale faster. And I actually believe that people are going to be expecting some form of AI in programs going forward. Okay, lastly, number 5, not investing in your business or yourself. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, you have to be willing to invest in yourself first. How can you expect your clients to invest in you if you're not prepared to do the same for your own growth? It all starts with you, your mindset. Trying to go it alone isn't just tough, it's lonely, and it often feels like you're constantly on an uphill battle. The most successful people know that real progress comes from seeking support, guidance, and learning from others. Now, I've already said I desperately needed mentorship, and I met up with this guy back in 2020, as I already mentioned, at this marketing conference, and we connected. His name is John Pemberthy. His main focus was all things webinars. And I had this epiphany that this is what I needed in my business to get my courses out to the right people who needed them and who needed my support. And it was like a real aha moment that this was the answer to my problem of having a course and not knowing how to market it. So I invested into his coaching program. Now, back then it was $15,000, but now his coaching is more like $25,000 and above. And I know it's very difficult and very expensive to work with him personally. Now you just get his team. Now, remember making that decision to invest that much. And I had a pit in my stomach. It was money we didn't really have at the time. But I felt committed, and so I got resourceful and I found a way, and it ended up being one of the most impactful decisions that I've ever made. I went on to cross $100,000 in revenue within just a few months, and then I went on to cross 7 figures in the business to get more speaking engagements because of this strategy, and I was then featured more and more in the press because the strategy I'm going to teach you is not only going to increase your revenue and give you back more time, but it's also going to open new opportunities because you're going to be seen by so many more people and you're going to be regarded as an expert in your field. Just going to pop back on camera. Now, the entire webinar strategy has changed and it's evolved so much since then. We have to adapt and consistently stay consistent with what's working in the market in the moment. I am so appreciative of John and what I learned from him. And ever since that moment when I decided to invest into a coach, well, I realized just how valuable it is and the return that it's going to give you. Now, I've since invested over 100,000 US dollars on coaching and mentorship, and I would probably still be stuck where I was doing the same things the same way if I hadn't taken that initial leap and invested that large sum that it felt like at the moment in myself. It's one of the best decisions that I have ever made. You got to remember, time is our most precious asset. And if we try to save money by investing our time into trying to solve a problem all by ourselves, then we're losing that most valuable asset that we have. Time is the one thing that you can never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So we need to use it wisely. I would rather invest into finding a solution than invest my time. Time cannot be replenished, but money can. So I'd rather pay someone for some shortcuts. So let's just recap those 5 things that could be holding you back. You're worrying about the competition, you're undercharging, you're outsourcing your marketing, you're not using AI to support you in the business, and you're not investing in yourself or your business. So now let's dive into this strategy that I have been talking about all the way through this webinar, and let's teach you how you can unlock an unstoppable stream of perfectly targeted leads to your business. Okay, the one make or break factor for any business is traffic. No traffic, no leads, no leads, no sales, no sales, no profits, no profits, no business. There are 3 kinds of traffic. You have traffic that you can buy, you have traffic that you can build, and you have traffic that you can borrow. I'm going to start with build and what build means. Build is organic traffic. It's where you're building your reputation. You might have a Facebook group. You might be posting on LinkedIn, posting on Instagram or TikTok. Maybe you have a school group and you're trying to attract people into your world that way. You might be writing blog posts. You might be guest posting on other people's sites. You might be building your YouTube channel or hosting a podcast or maybe private messaging people on social channels. Most of you are doing some of these already. All of this takes a lot of time and energy, and it's slow and unpredictable. Now, I do believe that it's an important aspect of building trust, credibility, authority, but it could take years to get you to consistent, high-quality clients and revenue if this is your only source of traffic for your business. And remember, time is the one thing you can never get back. The next one is to borrow traffic. Borrowing somebody else's audience can be a great way to build your authority and reach an audience that you wouldn't normally have access to. This could be through speaking on stage, being a guest on a podcast or a webinar, having affiliates market your products in return for a commission. In some cases, you can even pay to speak at other people's events. But in order to be considered to be on someone else's stage or podcast, you already need to be established as a name in your industry. So you first have to build your authority or buy your authority. So this traffic strategy is probably the last strategy that you would look at as an add-on to the others when everything else is already working. And you can see here that they all interlink. Once you have built your name and your strategy, well, then that allows you to then borrow from somebody else. So once you buy, that allows you to borrow, and you can also buy, and that will then allow you to then build. It's all interconnected. But I want to talk about paid traffic on this webinar. If you're starting or you're wanting to grow a business, you need to get leads and clients now, not wait for a year and work like crazy doing all of the build traffic strategies. You need clients now, and the best way to make that happen is through paid traffic. With paid traffic, you are in control. You get instant results. You get a guaranteed return on your investment. You get converting customers, and you can automate this and you can scale it very quickly. Here's how it works. We spend a little bit of money to promote our business on social channels, and then we send that traffic to a sales process that is going to give us qualified leads out the other end and convert them into clients. Now, if the revenue we make is greater than the amount spent on ads, it's profitable. And then all we need to do is turn on the tap. It is guaranteed, and it is very easy to scale and grow. You put in a few dollars, someone sees your ad and signs up for your training, which I'll talk about in the next step. And then within 12 to 48 hours, they could become a client. Deal done. And then it becomes an automated machine. You put some of that revenue back into your ads, and it just keeps working for you over and over again. So where can you pay for traffic? There is only one winner here. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are crowded with advertisers, really hard to stand out. People are not actively searching, so they're just scrolling and they're looking for entertainment. On some platforms, there are privacy issues. Snapchat, Pinterest, and X, well, they offer a limited reach to your ideal customer. LinkedIn is very hard and extremely expensive. And overall, lead costs are going to be expensive. The only platform that stands out is YouTube. Now, I'm not saying you can't use those other platforms. They may be well suited to your target audience, but YouTube is the winner. Why? Because it's a search engine. It's laser targeted using keywords that people have searched for. And not just on YouTube, but Google searches and display networks, because Google and YouTube are interconnected. You can target specific demographics and locations. You can target people who are researching your competitors, which is amazing. You can target blogs and articles and websites that are specific to your industry. You can appear exactly when that customer is interested to watch, and lead costs are relatively inexpensive. YouTube is the second largest social media platform next to Facebook, with 2.5 billion active users worldwide. The massive advantage of YouTube is that people are actively going there to search for something, to consume content, and it's easier then to stand out and speak to your ideal customer. And AI content is now being penalized on YouTube. So as a real creator, your content will be promoted above anything AI. And this is a kicker. You only pay if they watch more than 30 seconds of your ad or they click. So here's how it works. You target someone with your ad in exactly the moment that they are searching for, let's say, how to lose weight in your 50s, or how to stop my dog from barking, how to strengthen my head voice, how to grow my business. You get the idea. So this is what happens. Let's say we are searching for how to lose weight fast. All of these people have spent lots of time building up their channel, building up their subscribers to be seen as the expert when you search for weight loss tips. But this person here at the top, they have decided, oh, I'll just pay a bit of money and I'll jump straight to the top of the list. Now, this is not the kind of ads that we are running and the ones that I'm going to be talking about. We are running in-stream video ads. We've all seen these types of ads that pop up at the start of a video you actually wanted to watch, and there's this little skip button. Well, guess what? We can target someone who types into YouTube how to speak better in public. And when someone types in those keywords, speak better or speak better in public, then an assortment of the most popular or most relevant videos will show. I'm sure you know this. Now, regardless of which video they select here, I can make sure that my ad pops up on these videos as a pre-video that they can then either skip past after 5 seconds, or they can choose to continue watching. You're only appearing to those people who are searching for a solution to a problem that you can solve. You're showing up as an authority, you're building trust, and obviously you're going to then have a call to action button to move them to the next step with you and join your free training, which, as I've said, I'm going to explain all about that in training point number 3. But you can call out to exactly the kind of customer that you want to work with. The lead quality on YouTube is so much higher than any other platform, and you are in control. You can bring in as many new potential customers as you want. Now, if you've been running paid ads before and they didn't work for you, that's because your strategy didn't work. I've got proven results. I know how to do this, and I know how to teach it to you so that you can get the same kind of results. Now, at the time of this screenshot from our ad account, we had spent just around 23,000 US dollars on ads, and we brought in, with that 23,000, 235,000. That's a crazy return. Now, I'm going to be transparent. Ads are more expensive, but when you know how to have the right messaging and target the right audience and set them up correctly, they can still be hugely profitable. Your minimum return on your investment when you're running ads should be you put $1 in and you get $3 back. That is the absolute minimum that you should be able to expect on the ads that you're running. You thought it would be complicated? It's not. And it is so powerful. Do you realize just how powerful this kind of marketing is? You only need a few short videos to get in front of your ideal customers and make a serious amount of sales. I mean, this particular video of ours has brought in close on $30,000 in just 3 months. And it is set and forget traffic. Once you have found a winning ad, you can just let it run and do its thing. Do you think we'd continue to run this ad if it wasn't profitable? Of course we wouldn't. Our channel has had almost 4.5 million views in the past 5 years with ads that are effectively calling out to our audiences. They are unlisted, so not visible to anyone on our channel. And the subscriber number is not of any relevance because this channel is not a channel that we are wanting to grow. And why? Because you never run ads from your main channel or it's going to destroy your organic growth. I want to know in the chat, let me know if you found that really insightful. Type a number 2 in the chat if you found that really insightful. Okay, I want to move on now to point number 3, how a single mini webinar can effortlessly attract and convert your dream customers. So I've already been talking about this training that you're going to send people to. It's called a webinar, and webinars have been around for years. And they've made a ton of money for many entrepreneurs. I mean, success leaves its clues. So if you see these people, Tony Robbins and Russell Brunson and Dan Henry and John Pemberthy and myself, we are all using webinars in our business. You need to have a sophisticated marketing machine that will qualify your traffic, indoctrinate them into your world and what you have to offer, and bring only those out the other end who are really interested in becoming your customers. Now, you might have listened to what I shared about YouTube ads and thought, hey, this is exciting. I want to use YouTube to get in front of my customers. And then you just lead them to a website. And if you do that, you're making a big mistake. You've got no way to know if that customer will hang around on your website. Will they take an action? And there could be so many distractions for them that they're just going to drop off without actually getting them to the point of becoming a client. We use a very simple webinar presentation, just like the one that you are watching right now. It's going to filter the webinar traffic for you. And those who are not interested in you and what you have to offer, they're going to leave the webinar. And those who are interested will stay and show interest in what you have to offer. Now, this webinar is going to provide value, position you as an authority, demonstrate that we understand them and where they are. It's going to build trust, qualify visitors, weed out those that are not interested, not suitable. It's going to be magnetic, and it's going to enable you to only speak to people who are most likely to pay for your products or your services. And at the same time, before they watch, you collect their email. So you're building a list of highly interested leads that you can continue to market to over and over again. This presentation is doing all of the heavy lifting for you. The webinar is a filtering system. If someone drops off during your presentation and your delivery and your content were spot on, they weren't your ideal client anyway. But those who stay, well, they've spent real time with you building trust and connection. Now, I could have one person on this webinar, or I could have 500 people on this webinar, and my time is exactly the same. It changes your perspective of how you can reach people. At the end of the webinar, They can either buy directly or they can schedule a call to take the next step. So if your offer is a significant investment, you're going to want to speak with your prospect to make sure it's a good fit for both you and for your prospect. But if it's a lower investment that doesn't really involve your time, then you can offer them an opportunity to buy directly on that webinar. But unless you're selling at a lower price point, this is the answer. It really allows you to build more trust with your prospect and make sure that what you are offering is something that will help them. It also means that you can vet them, you can make sure that they're a real person that you like to work with. And it really becomes surprisingly easy to set up, to automate, and scale to the next level. Either way, this system works for you 24/7, qualifying leads, growing your email list, and bringing in clients on autopilot. Okay, let me know in the chat if you found that really interesting. Now type a number 3 for me. We're going to move on to point number 4. I really value the time that you're sharing with me here. I mean, how many of you have been on a call with a potential prospect? You spent 30 minutes, maybe an hour on the phone with them, explaining how you can help them. They give you a whole lot of excuses why they can't do it. They get off the phone saying they'll think about it, or they're shopping around and they'll get back to you. And you just feel like you've wasted a ton of your time. Can anyone relate to that? You need to understand the conversion timeline. Everyone you speak to is between a 0 and a 10. So if you have this feeling often, you're speaking only to number 2s. They haven't really heard of you. Maybe a friend referred them, but they don't really know you and they haven't consumed any of your content. They don't respect you or your time. Maybe they even ask you for a free session. I mean, how many of us have had that happen before? What we need is our automated marketing that will get people to a 6 or a 7. And then the gap is so much smaller to close them into a program and a sale on that call with us. Your webinar acts like a gatekeeper. People may get 10 or 15 minutes into the webinar and then they leave. I'm completely okay with that. That indicates this wasn't something they were interested in. And if they are not interested in my content, they won't be interested in my coaching. It hasn't cost me anything other than an ad click and a registration for them to be there. Maybe they're not interested now, but maybe later on down the line, when you email them, they might become interested. Maybe people who have joined this webinar today, well, they might have dropped off by now, and that is perfectly fine. But those of you who stay and have found it valuable, well, hopefully you have found this valuable, and maybe you're going to want to go ahead and schedule a call to find out more about this model and whether or not support from us would be the right fit for you and your business moving forward. Absolutely no pressure. I mean, imagine 30 to 50% of the people that you spoke with, though, signed up. Imagine not having to be salesy. Imagine having fabulous conversations. Imagine looking forward to having these calls. And imagine being in a position to say no or turn people away. And lastly, imagine having more time. This is the answer. Highly targeted YouTube ads that reach out to your ideal customer in the moment they've been searching for a solution to the problem that you can solve. They register for a free mini webinar training that's about 30 to 40 minutes long. This filters out the ideal customer from those who aren't interested. You lead them to book a call with you, and then on that call, you can close 30 to 40% of prospects into becoming a client. This can all happen within 12 to 48 hours of them registering for your webinar. And this is what has led me and my clients to being able to work less, enjoy more time with my family, have more freedom, more comfort, speak on stages, host a podcast, write a book, and whatever your idea of freedom is and the power to choose how you spend your time. Well, I want that for you. And I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to learn this and change my life. And I want you to be able to do the same. So the reality is you might be in a situation where you're looking back on the last calendar year and you're thinking, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not on track to what I want to achieve. And you had this idea to grow a coaching business, to grow your reputation in your industry, to help more people, to build more wealth, and you're stuck. You've been trying, but it hasn't been easy. And you're eager to make more money, to make a bigger impact, and it's just not working the way that you imagined. Well, you've got a decision to make on this webinar. I've opened your eyes to some of the answers here, and there's so much more to this that I just couldn't share because there wouldn't have been time. But hopefully, I've given you a glimpse into a new world that is possible for you. Now, you could choose to go back to what you've been doing, but it's going to be slow, and you probably still won't get to where you want to be. Or you can go down this new path that I've opened your eyes to today. And if you'd like to take that path, then I would like to offer you an opportunity to grow your coaching or consulting business in the same way that we've grown ours, to stand out, to get more clients, and to free your time in the process. And it's an opportunity to get on a call with myself or a member of my team. We want to help you, and we are genuinely interested in seeing you reach your goals, get unstuck, and find a path forward. So the purpose of this call is really to get to know you, to get to know your business and your situation, to help you identify where and why you're stuck. I mean, our team have been doing this for 5 years now, and we've been working with some of the best in the industry. So we know how to identify problems and give you solid advice that you can implement immediately. And then we're going to help you decide on your goals and create a plan of action for you to achieve those goals. So I really think this call is going to be incredibly valuable for you. And then if it feels like a good fit, we may have a chat about coaching. We do work with a select few clients every month, and we're very particular. We don't work with everyone. It's got to feel like a good fit, not only for you, but also for us. I mean, who knows? We might make a great connection on that call and be feeling really good about working together. So you might then have an opportunity to hear about our private coaching program where you can work with us hands-on and get our strategic help to implement these strategies and finally change the course of your life and your business, to get you off the path of feeling overwhelmed, stuck, and get you on the path to results, success, and the impact that you desire. Now, please understand, this is not a sales call. It starts with a chat. Now, if you've been on sales calls before where you feel pushed to buy something, I want to emphasize this is not what you're going to experience with us. This is a genuine conversation to get to know you and see if we can help by giving you some solid advice and strategies to get you to where you want to be. And we are very protective over our coaching program. We don't just let everyone in. We're protective because we want to make sure that we really can get the results that you're looking for. And we only want to work with people who we really like and we really enjoy spending time with. Because when you're working in a coaching program, you are spending a lot of time together. Now, of course, when you achieve amazing things, we'll want to celebrate that with you as well. And we're going to be thrilled to showcase you as a success story for our business. So I'm about to drop a link. And just a heads up, we don't have time in our calendar to speak with everyone. So it is first come, first serve. We tend to get overwhelmed with calls. So if you're interested, and I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be, get in there quickly and make sure you secure a spot. We don't want you to miss out, especially if you're genuinely interested in getting some support. And we've had some disappointment in the past where people have wanted to book a call and they've gone to the link only to find out, oh, there's no spots available, or they can't find the time that suits them or their time zone because all the times are already taken. All right. You know, this could be the most valuable thing that you do today. You've got everything to gain. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. So I see no reason why you wouldn't take this step. There's no risk to you. We just want to get to know you, get to know your business, and offer you some value initially. And it could just be the phone call that's going to help you to see significant results in your business. So I think we've now dropped the link and the QR code is now appearing on the screen. So go and book your call. And another important point, there is going to be a short form that you'll need to complete once you've booked your call. That just helps us to get some insight into you before we have that conversation. And we do go over those forms before the call. So it's really important that you offer as much information as possible so that we can do our preparation. In fact, it's so important that if we don't receive that completed form, I don't like to say this, but we will have to cancel your call to open up the slot for someone else. And filling in the form also shows us that you're genuinely interested in getting some support, you're an action taker, and you respect our time. So jump on in there, find a time in the calendar that suits you, and then on that next page, make sure you fill in the form with as much information as possible. And we're really looking forward to having this conversation with you. All right, that's it. I'm going to be signing off in a moment. Take a photo of the QR code, open the link in your browser, and make sure you save it so you don't lose it when this webinar closes down. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on with me today. Just do me one more favor. Type a yes in the chat if you found value in what I've shared on this webinar today. And if you're really pleased that you came, that you showed up, that you stood it to the duration. This is just scratching the surface. And, maybe you had no idea who I was until now, but I'm hoping that this presentation has opened your eyes, has given you some ideas, some light bulb moments, and hopefully this will also be the start of a great conversation together. Thank you once again. Okay, I can see a lot of yeses coming into the chat. Thank you to you as well. That really does mean a lot to me. You've got two options. You can go back, you can continue doing things alone, or you can have a chat with us. And I highly recommend that you take the latter. Let's have that chat and let's just see where things go from there. Tom Rath says, when you have a rare opportunity, take it. Life is too short to be living with regrets. So that's the motto I want to leave you with. I'm going to wrap it up. Just make sure you grab the link once more before it disappears, save it, and then thank you once again for being on this webinar. And I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you soon.